This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us.
As far back as I can remember, I dreamt of a normal life. A life where monsters don't live in closets or under the bed. A life where ghosts aren't real. I just wanted to be normal. But that didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be. Since my early 20s, I have experienced profound paranormal events that would change my life. Extreme poltergeist activity, living amongst those that have departed this earth in ways unimaginable. It has affected my loved ones and children with no end in sight. I could hear things, see things, and feel things not of this world. I asked myself if this was a gift or a curse. With the help of my mother and close friends, I emerged a paranormal investigator. Since 2013, I have been on a relentless journey to learn about the paranormal. I invite you to follow me into the unknown. Welcome to the Necromancer Live Show.
Hello and welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. I'm your host, Justin Brown, and I would like to thank you for joining us again. For another exciting episode, we have Missy Vastine.
Hello.
What are you doing? Are you ready to talk about alien mummies?
I'm ready.
So, you've seen the photographs, right?
I have.
We're living in strange times. Like, Mexico is the first official country in our known history to acknowledge the existence of extraterrestrials. Not only acknowledge them, but to allege to, have remains of them. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Whether it's real or not, we're going to talk about it. I just think that's nuts. We're also going to talk about some ethics that involve ghost hunting and paranormal investigation. I don't think you can talk about that enough. And if we have time and if it works okay, we're going to look at some footage. I neglected to do this. By the way, anybody watching tonight, you can submit video clips, EVPs, pictures. If you want us to do a live review on them, I am a photographer and a filmmaker. I know, quite a bit about, photography, optics, stuff like that. I also, know the basics of audio engineering and recording audio digitally. So my opinion may or may not, be valuable to you, but by all means, please submit stuff. And if I can get it to work without problems, we will look at some stuff. There's one and two things I want to look at. Well, there's one thing I can't look at what Derek has until he gives me the stuff. But we're going to have another fun show. Are you ready, Missy? Do you want to do any shout outs before let's shout out the people that's hung out in the intro waiting for us to go live.
Okay, I have Joseph Moore on YouTube, and I have Josh Bender, Amber Wellman, Derek Schreiner on Facebook.
What's up, friends? All right. I got a few articles, but you've seen. You would have to live under a rock not to see these news posts and videos and photos. When you first look at this pictures and video clips of this alien remains, what do you think? First impression.
It's paper mache.
So it's what it looks like. Now the Mexican government is full bought into this. They have these doctors that are x-raying them, and they're showing the x-rays to the news. They're in Mexico, and I mean, this shit's viral, obviously. And they claim that there's egg sacs or egg-like things inside the alien bodies on x-ray. We're going to take a look at that. This is pretty interesting. We're going to talk about the agenda. Why would governments lie to us about aliens? We're going to talk about that angle. We're going to talk about the possibility that, these are real things that are happening, and they're just now disclosing them, or, whatever. We're going to talk about it. We got Shannon Morrison. I don't know if she just popped in.
Just popped in.
Welcome, Shannon. But over the last 4 or 5 years, I have been following a conspiracy theory of governments faking alien invasions and UFOs and UAPs, whatever you want to call them, to further their agenda to a new world order, a one world government. And one way to do that would be to fake an alien invasion or fake make people afraid of extraterrestrial beings attacking us and taking us over, so we can, it would help unite all the governments of the world into one government to combat and defend against the aliens. That's one conspiracy theory I've been taking a hard look at. There is Project Bluebeam, which is, one of the major conspiracies. If you don't know what Project Bluebeam is and you would like me to explain it, we will take a look at it. But it's one of the things that we want to talk about. It's increasing. The alien presence in the media, especially what the governments, the U.S. government and now the Mexican government are doing, is disclosing information about UFOs and aliens. And we got to talk about it. It's an elephant in the room. Got to talk about it. They also claim they have a skeleton believed to be their mother. Yeah, there's other remains that we'll take a look at it. There's other remains. It's not just the two. So you, Missy, you're like, no, these alien bodies that they're showing us are fake. Yeah. That's where you're at. Okay, I just want to make sure. Let's see if I can bring up some bookmarks. Here we go, friends. I got 100,000 bookmarks, but we're going to get to it eventually. Aha. Okay, this will be the first article we're going to take a look at here. Missy going to go away for a second. Sorry, Missy. Okay. By the way, before I forget, I will go ahead and put this in the chat now. If you are interested in using the Streamlab link, I'm going to link now. It is now accepting credit cards. You can make up to $1 donations. You can choose your own gifts or animations on stream live when you donate, but it is accepting credit cards, Venmo, and PayPal. So that is available if whoever wants to use that. The donations would go to funding the production of this show and everything else we do. Anyway, here we go. Mummified alien corpses are from single skeletons and were not assembled. Mexican doctor claims as he examines eggs in one of the non-human bodies during new lab tests. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger for people in the back. Okay. I'm going to read this. Alien investigators have claimed that new tests show 2 non-human bodies are single skeletons rather than being assembled from various remains, which scans allegedly also showing eggs inside one corpse. UFO enthusiast Jamie Masson unveiled the pair, which he has named Clara and Mauricio, the Mexican Congress last week, describing their discovery as one of the most important in human history. That's a bold claim. His associates, Dr. Jose Zals Benitez, I suck at this, has now claimed scans showed the specimens are each a single skeleton and complete organic being, contrary to suggestions that they are made up of different parts as some assumed. His team had also said their latest studies indicate Clara was alive, was intact, was biological, and was in gestation, pointing to the presence of large lumps in her abdomen, which they said could be eggs. Most in the scientific community are not convinced by the findings, however, with multiple UFOs and forensics experts coming out to slam the claims as unsubstantiated and a hoax. Now, I will say that this guy, this journalist, is known to hoax things in the past. Okay? So this kind of goes through this conspiracy of this whole faking it, and for what reason we'll find out. So we'll blow this up. I mean, look at this thing. There's a couple of videos we'll take a look at. I mean, they're going through a decent effort to sell this if it's fake, which is most likely is, but boy, if you were going to fake it, you think you would do a better job, wouldn't you?
Definitely.
Look at this. Look at this. It's like a doll. It's awfully straight.
El primer estudio que se hizo fue una tomografía computarizada. El segundo estudio que se hizo fueron placas de rayos X simple. Y el tercero fue un estudio de fluoroscopía. En los 3 estudios se trató de ver la estructura, el esqueleto de estos cuerpos, y se logró determinar que sí pertenece a un esqueleto único, no armado, de una sola pieza íntegra.
I mean, look. Let's go back here for a second. Oh crap! I forgot it won't let you pause. That is so not cool. Anyway, take a look. Take a look at this. Everybody in the medical field watching, take a look at this, and tell me if anything looks bizarre. There's no sockets to the bones.
Joseph said, wouldn't it be fragile?
I would think handling it like that would be no bueno. And look, shit's flaking off of it.
Coincidimos en que
Okay.
el cráneo
So,
sí
first
coincide
of
en su unión
all,
y en su estructura de continuidad
it
con el
shows
cuello.
eggs
Y
in
que
it,
no se
Uh-huh.
but it doesn't show that there's like a canal or any organ, you know. Like,
Right. I don't know if it's because they removed it from the mummy, because these are supposed to be mummies, but they would leave that in there. Like, there's a lot of questions.
but there would be like, you know, I don't know.
I don't know either. It's strange, okay? We're not going to watch you. Okay, so it just looks like fuck. It just looks like sticks.
It
The
just
skin.
said, nope, it does not look like an articulated skeleton.
No, it doesn't. It just looks like they took like fragments of bones and stuck them inside of a paper mache thing. I don't know. The scan was performed by technicians and scientists on the project at the NOR clinic in whatever city that is in Mexico on Monday. It was live streamed on Mason's YouTube channel. Infobae.com reports. The team behind the UFO claims previously showed apparent x-rays of the specimens to Mexico's Congress, saying that they showed one of the beings had carried eggs with embryos inside them. The pair of corpses have elongated heads with 3 fingers on each hand, but otherwise somewhat humanoid in shape, including 2 arms and 2 legs. The retractable necks and long skulls show characteristics more typical of birds, El Pius reported. They were also found to have strong light bones and no teeth, the presenters said. They said they had implants of cadmium and osmium metals. I don't know anything about that. With osmium, one of the most scarce elements in Earth's crust and considered the rarest precious metal. It smells like horse shit.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. You know, birds lay eggs, snakes lay eggs, and turtles lay eggs.
Right. So, but most scientists have rebuked claims that bodies are from another world, with a number saying that they are most likely to be mummies made up of various earthly beings. And, I mean, they're showing all these scans. They're going through a lot. If this is fake, you would think that they would do a better job. Julieta Fierro, a scientist at Mexico's National Autonomous University Institute of Astronomy who reviewed the specimens, said his samples were related to brain and skin tissues from mummies who died at different times. Dr. Benitez, who presented the findings alongside Mason's earlier, challenged scientists to take samples of the alleged alien bodies and conduct studies themselves before labeling it a hoax. Based on the DNA tests, which were compared with more than 1 million species, they are not related to what is known or described up to this moment by science or by human knowledge, he told journalists. But Fierro, looking at Mason's test results for Reuters, said her observations do not show anything mysterious that could indicate life compounds that do not exist on Earth. Elsa Tomasto, a respected Peruvian bioanthropologist, has also revealed her frustration at the claims, citing similar alleged finds that were found to be frauds. What we said before still stands. They are presenting the same rehash as always, and there are people that keep believing that. What can we do? She said. It is also crass and so simple that there is nothing more to add. Suspicion has also risen after a previous purported discovery by Mason and Dr. Benitez was debunked. In 2015, they claimed that the mummified body found near Nazca in Peru belonged to an alien. Following tests, it was later discovered to be remains of a human child. I don't know what...
Shannon says, never would someone trained in the least handle a specimen in such a careless way. I wore more gear in a compounding clean room. You best
Right.
bet I would have gear on to protect the alien.
I mean, it's pretty laughable. I think it's laughable, but the implications. What are these? Okay, it's obviously not real. What are the implications of, okay, it's not real, why are they doing this? I saw a comment that they're trying to distract us. I think it was Derek. What
He
would
said
be
that it's to redirect your attention so you don't see what's really going on behind the scenes.
I think up front, to get people noticing these, fakes and farces are like fueling our disbelief in the government and kind of fueling the whole conspiracy theory umbrella, the platform that is the government and doing all these things. It's like a it's a propaganda. It's what the government does to use counterintelligence against us. For what reasons, though? Okay, it could be to distract. It could be, to fuel the Project Blue Beam crap and the New World Order, or it could be something more simple than that.
Hi, RJ. Shannon said, so we won't believe real evidence when it's presented to us.
Okay, why wouldn't they want us to believe the real evidence? Because they want to hide it, so by hiding it, they give us fake stuff?
Well, yeah, why not? Then you're not going to question it. They think you're not going to question it.
That's an interesting way. That would be interesting. Very interesting. I have another article here that we can take a look at. What's up, RJ Murphy?
Did you tell him happy birthday yesterday, Justin?
I think I forgot. Dude, I've been working insane overtime. I'm sorry. Happy belated birthday to you, sir. I apologize. I miss all kinds of birthdays, and it sucks. I'm not proud of it. Okay, so this one, it's got some videos by NASA. I think there was a NASA take on it. Is this the one I looked at? No. This is just another article.
Shannon said control information is power, just like the entertainment Mandela effect being used to make people distrust their own memory.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think it would be worth watching this one.
Thanks for coming today.
This was about their discussing their UAP investigation team, and it's interesting to watch this. And then the reporters asked them about the mummies, and I want to read their response to it. Come on.
NASA searches for the unknown in air and space. It's in our DNA. From digging on Mars with the Perseverance rover in those little titanium tubes that we intend to go back and pick up, digging in a dry lake bed near the mouth of a river. Now we're going up to the top of the cliff where the scientists feel that there could be the best examples of if there were life there millions of years ago. Whether we're dealing with Perseverance or the James Webb Space Telescope, which searches for exoplanets with signs of habitability, we are looking for signs of life, past and present. And it's in our DNA to explore and to ask why things are the way they are. In June of last year, NASA commissioned an independent study team to examine unidentified anomalous phenomena. We did so with a few goals in mind. First, to examine how NASA can use our expertise and instruments to study UAP from a scientific perspective. Second, shift the conversation about UAP from sensationalism to science, and to make sure that whatever we find or whatever we recommend, to make sure that information is shared transparently around the world. There's a global fascination with UAP. On my travels, one of the first questions I often get is about these sightings. And much of that fascination is due to the unknown nature of it. Think about it. Most UAP sightings result in very limited data. That makes it even more difficult to draw scientific conclusions about the nature of UAP. And so this independent study team brought together some of the world's leading scientists, data, and artificial intelligence experts, aerospace safety specialists, all with a...
I want you to remember that he brought up AI experts.
Specific charge from me, which is to tell how to apply the full focus of science and data to UAP. And this is the first time that NASA has taken concrete action to seriously look into UAP. And this independent study team was just that, independent. Now, NASA has a statutory authority to look for life in the universe. And when you think of the universe, and especially what we have learned from the James Webb Space Telescope, how vast that it is. We knew before, and it was a NASA scientist, Dr. John Mather, who got the Nobel that determined that the universe was 13.8 billion years old. And over the years, particularly accelerated in the last century, we have an understanding that, of course, ours is not the only galaxy. And there are billions and billions of galaxies, and each of those galaxies, including our own, have billions and billions of stars. And with the James Webb looking at the exoplanets,
type 1 in the chat if you believe in aliens.
Now beginning to discover, and somewhere out there we will discover, another medium-sized stony planet around a medium-sized sun or star at just the right distance, not too far, not too close, with a tilt in its axis that rotates, that has carbon, that will have a habitable atmosphere. If you ask me, do I believe there's life in a universe that is so vast that it's hard for me to comprehend how big it is? My personal answer is yes. But I asked some of our scientists. As a matter of fact, the Washington Post editorial board asked us to come down to the question, what is the mathematical probability that there is life out there in the universe? And if you calculate in billions of stars, in billions of galaxies, that there's replicated what I just said, another stony planet. The answer was, what's the likelihood? At least 1 trillion.
1 trillion.
That's from our scientist. So we start this without any preconceived notions, but understanding that we're in a world of discovery. And we, NASA, have taken for the first time concrete action to seriously look into UAP. And this independent study team is exactly that. It's independent. They work to develop recommendations about how NASA could better examine them from a scientific perspective. And the top takeaway from the study is that there is a lot more to learn. The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. But we don't know what these UAP are. That's why I'm announcing that NASA has appointed a NASA Director of UAP Research. They are being tasked with developing and overseeing the implementation of NASA's vision for UAP research. We will use NASA's expertise to work with other agencies to analyze UAP. We will use AI and machine learning to search the skies for anomalies, as we have been searching the heavens and will continue to search the heavens for habitability. And NASA will do this transparently. So while today is a significant step for NASA, it's certainly not our final step. And we're going to share more with you.
On this day,
Boom. Boom. So, NASA seems to be serious. I don't know if there's, a large trust factor with NASA, but they seem to be way more official than Mexico it is about this subject matter. But a lot of these things that they included in that was interesting to me, like their pursuit of finding, life outside of Earth and in space, and researching UAP seriously and transparently. I mean, it all kind of got bunched up and together. And the article, let's see if we can go back here. Boy, you can hear my GPU humming. You guys can't because of the... Hold on here. I must have left my restream. But, let's see. During Thursday's briefing... Let's see here. During Thursday's briefing, BBC News digital journalist Sam Cabral asked whether or not NASA has been in touch with Mexican authorities about the rather sensational revelations concerning the alleged alien mummies, and in response, the chair of NASA's UAP study team, David Spergel, responded that if there is any evidence of alien remains, then those in possession of the material should make it publicly available for study. The non-human beings displayed to the media during a past conference of Mexico's journalist and UFO expert Jamie Maussan at the Cameo Real Hotel in Mexico City, Mexico on September 13th, 2023. When you have unusual things, you want to make data public, Spergel said. I think of this as like NASA has one of the most valuable samples from outer space lunar rocks. What do? We make them available to any scientists who want to work on this. We don't know the nature of those samples that were shown in front of them, Spergel added. If I was the Mexican government, if I would make a recommendation to the Mexican government, that's not our charge here. We're doing this for NASA. My recommendation would be if you have something strange, make samples available to the world's scientific community, and we'll see what's there. This is being reported on pretty widely, so pretty interesting stuff. What say you, chat? Catch me up here, Missy.
Soul Watchers Paranormal said, well, since there has been sightings since well before we could even fly, I think there's something to them. Not all of them currently. They won't release the name of the new director. And then he said, I also think they're just concerned about getting more money for searching for UAPs truly. And then he said, how come we never found alien scat?
Yeah, I don't know. Good questions. The best thing he said, or her, I don't know if it's a man or a girl, but best thing, my favorite comment was money. Mm-hmm. So if UAP Pursuits was trying to find out if the UAPs are a threat, especially from another government, money would help do that. I personally think a lot of the stuff, like the tech tac stuff and the stuff that the Navy saw, was not alien, but it could be. I want to leave that out there, but it looks like they're testing our fighters to see how they would react to unmanned, remote controlled, or maybe possibly AI controlled craft that does stuff that is physically impossible. So, you're always looking at stuff the government is doing that's way, 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 way further than you think that they, what's technologically possible, or what they report, our tech is doing currently. They're always way ahead, obviously that's been the case over the years. So saying that they're aliens would throw others off, our enemies off, and having this whole faking aliens or UFOs craft, being piloted by aliens or extraterrestrials would be just counterintelligence. It would make sense to me that, if that was going down. I do not see why it would be beneficial for the government to tell us anything that they know about alien, existence, because that would go against how they control us. That would go against how, their agendas. It's all interesting. I don't know if they have what they may, I don't know if they have what they may be made of, so maybe they don't do that. The Tic Tac is one of our own reverse engineered aircraft. It let us get a really good look at it. You know what I mean? I think if it was just look at what we do to lower life forms on Earth and how we study them. We take them, we don't ask, and we don't. The animals, most of the animals we study aren't aware enough to know what we're doing or who we are at, at the base level. At least we don't think they do. Now, there's a lot of animals that do understand well, enough or as much as we do about who we are and what our agendas are. But I would think that, the cattle in our fields, if they actually were 100% aware of what was going on, they wouldn't just sit there and graze and wait until their death. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think we're cattle. If aliens exist, we're cattle to them. We're not going to be as fully aware of their existence, of their presence, of their agendas, what they're doing. I'm telling you, people joke about my fear of actual real extraterrestrials all the time for that reason. Okay? There's nothing you can do to stop them from doing whatever they want to do to you. Okay? Right. And if that's not terrifying to you, I don't know what is. You should be. If they're real, you should be terrified. And I haven't seen anything overwhelmingly against, and based on my belief, I believe that they're real. Do I have an evidence? Hell no. And I hope I never do. And I hope that I'm wrong and they don't exist. But there's reasons for me to believe that they do. Go ahead.
But the question isn't, are they real? The question is that real? And that is not real.
Right. But you have to ask a question. Are they real? Is that real? No, probably not. And,
Right. I get it. But
if you're going to fake something, you're usually faking it because there are real ones, but these are some fake ones. You see what I'm saying? Why fake something if it's not real?
I know.
That's how I think about it. If they're faking something, they must be real. That's how, I don't know.
They're going out of their way to make it, appear real. But
Maybe the Mexican public, maybe that fools Mexican residents.
maybe.
I don't know. You would think that they would try way harder. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to cover that real quick, see what people were interested in, what they thought.
Josh Bender said it was just a cake.
Josh's belly grumbled when he seen that meme.
But
He's
Josh
like,
doesn't like cake.
He doesn't. I am amazed at the few things I've seen. It's exciting to me. However, a friend of mine is absolutely terrified. He thinks things have happened to him. Absolutely, there's people terrified. For sure, for good reason. That is a real fear people have. And there you go. Any other questions, anything else that you would like to say before we shift gears and move on? I know we will take a short break in between. I'll play the Deadlight promo halfway through at 9 o'clock. I wish I had some other stuff. I don't want to show old material, like old promos and trailers from our films over 2 years ago, because it's outdated. Hopefully we'll have some more things. If you know anybody that has a podcast, YouTube channel, any type of digital media that they have promos and ads for, and they would like to have us run it on our show, get a hold of me. You can message the Necromancer live show page. You can message my personal profile on Facebook. You can email me at justinbrown@interfacedeath.net. However you want, let me know and submit it to me, and I'll definitely take a look at it. And it could be on the show.
So Watchers Paranormal said, "I am amazed at the few things I've seen."
I read
It's
that.
exciting. Okay, and then he also said, "We witnessed an event, and he wanted to leave. He didn't talk to anyone for a week or more about it."
Marvin the Martian. Let me look at that. I don't know what that reference is.
You don't know who Marvin the Martian is?
Is that Looney Tunes?
Yes.
Okay.
His fluctuator, his actuator.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, Missy, let me ask you, do you think ghost hunting is unethical? Why not? Why not?
I don't know. Do you?
A lot of it is. Ask me why.
Why?
So, we talk, not so much currently, but in the past on the show, we've talked about the zoo factor.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hate zoos. And the reason I hate zoos is you basically, imprison animals, wildlife, for us to look at whenever we want.
Right.
Okay. So, one of my theories is that when we go into a location expecting spirits to be there, fueling the energy of it being haunted, to me, in a way, in a lot of instances, we are imprisoning or incarcerating energy there. Okay, we're putting it in there, we're fueling it, we're manifesting it. Okay, when we go, and we're going to talk about this theory, and kind of draw parallels to what happened at Hill Forest Mansion. Okay. So let's just say we go to the Monroe house. We feel like there's a nefarious entity there. We feel like there's entities trapped there. Okay. Let's just say that our psychic abilities will impregnate the energy with these conscious thought forms. Okay. They will manifest. And for lack of a better way of explaining it, these become alive, essentially. They become thinking, conscious beings. All right? With feelings, with thoughts. They weren't there before, but everybody that goes there keeps fueling the manifestation of them. So we have incarcerated them, these entities there, for what? We say it's research. We're trying to figure out what it is. But a lot of, there are moments and there are arguments that we go there for entertainment purposes, for entertainment value, for a hobby. You know what I'm saying? You know where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So if this hypothetical is true, would it be ethical to keep doing that? Or if these things exist outside of us fueling them and creating them, and it's unnatural for them to be there, it's unnatural for it to be happening. Let's just say there's people or things are trapped there, or let's just say that there's entities there that do no good, and if there was ways to end that, why wouldn't you end it? Why would you, and there's arguments both ways. In order to study something, scientists have to do research on animals. We get them sick and we do things to them to experiment with, to learn things. But I think there's parallels there. I think there's ethics to talk about. And there's definitely ethics when should you go to a graveyard to do ITC research or do paranormal investigations in graveyards? There's ethics there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm asking you. Do you ever feel like you're doing the right thing, 100% the right thing when you go to do the things that we do?
Maybe not 100%, but like at Hill Forest, for example, they will invite you in. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're saying that they want you to come and communicate with them.
Well, yeah. You mentioned Monroe House. That whole place is no one knows what that is. But whatever that is man-made. In my opinion.
Potentially.
So, what on one end they're inviting you in, and on the other end it's something that is man-made with the intent to hurt people. And so what do you do?
Good question. Soul Watch Paranormal says, I'm concerned personally about what we or how we could be affecting them or at all.
Right.
So this first popped up to me is, we go to these places, you hear and feel and believe that there's cries for help. There's people that don't want to be in these situations. There's souls or entities that don't want to be in these situations, right? But we go there regardless, and we do our thing. Thanks, Wes. And we leave. We may say sorry. We may say all these things to, show our either our appreciation or our gratitude or our, a notion of feeling remorse for these entities. But I feel like we too quickly, we just go on to the next and we keep churning it out. I feel like when I go into a situation, it seems like at my own house, like when I first started doing paranormal research, I brought all these things in, all these things started manifesting, and I ended it because I felt like A, the children don't need to be near that, and B, the house doesn't deserve that, and C, it's unethical. There's ethics involved. Like, a home should be a home. It shouldn't be like a, a terminal for whatever to come in so you can play with. I mean, there's a fine line between playing, entertaining, prodding, and investigating and studying. Like, there's a lot of, like, I feel like we are trying to study, but at what cost are we doing that? Which is what Soul Watcher Paranormal was kind of alluding to there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we may learn something, but at what cost are we learning it? There's ethics that, you know, you have to balance out and you have to ask yourself.
Right.
There are a million unknowns and variables if we take for granted there are human spirits trying to communicate. Then we are rolling the dice when we do this. Go ahead, Missy.
Like, at Mineral House, you know, you went in the basement and your first reaction was, there are children in here and they need out.
Right.
And so you were trying to help them.
Right.
They weren't there when you went back.
I mean,
right.
Our belief was there's no way to prove or disprove or anything.
Right. At Fairfield County Infirmary, you basically walked down the stairs and opened the front door and said, if you want to go, go.
Mm-hmm.
You gave them an out. But they didn't take it.
It wasn't surprising to me.
Hi, John.
Hello, John. Thank you for being here. So yeah, there has definitely been times where I feel the ethics were definitely a priority to me. I felt like, I have children, if there's children being wronged or, something's wrong happening to them, in my mind, I feel like I should do whatever I can do to help them.
Right. At Hillview Manor, for instance, none of those people have a name. For all intents and purposes.
Some of them do. Most of them don't.
Most of them don't. But my view on it is we're just trying to give them a name.
I think that's important.
Tell them that they existed and they were important in this world. To someone, whether they were mentally handicapped or, whether they were poor or whatever, that they mattered to somebody.
Right.
That somebody cared enough to seek out their name.
After investigating with me over the years, how confident are you that what we're dealing with are actual souls of deceased people? Now, be completely honest. I don't want to feel like I control your beliefs or anything. That's not my intention. But I want to know, A, if it has changed, or B, if it hasn't changed, what you think.
Okay, so what was the original question? Because I was trying to recall it.
How confident are you that the things that we interact with, we believe are paranormal, are actual souls of people? That the ones that we believe are souls. Like, they have not crossed, and they are there at the place we are investigating.
Well, I've seen them. And some of them will I guess you would say, bestow their emotions on you or on me. So, yes, there was a soul there. There is a soul there. There's emotion there.
Right, but if let's say you went into your friend's kitchen and they were eating ice cream. They spilled some on the floor and there was ice cream there, and you walked through there barefoot and got some on you. And you were like, oh, that's sticky. It smells like, chocolate ice cream. You would think that there was chocolate ice cream there.
Right.
And the way I look at it is, if we have free will, if we can choose where we are when we're alive, what gets us stuck at these places when we're no longer physical? Like, how does that work? Like, I don't see any theory other than we have unresolved business. Like, okay, let's just say you die an untimely death. You have friends, family that you don't want to leave. Sure, your choice is not to cross over, like the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. That is probably the most well accepted reason for a ghost to haunt someone. Okay. Do you think that is as straightforward as it is? Some people just are afraid or just don't want to cross. But see, in that movie, it portrays it as transient. It goes everywhere.
Right.
It's not haunting a location and only that location. Do you feel like, these people, we just catch them at places they like to hang out? Because we go to asylums, prisons. We go to the most unsavory places, the places that no one want to hang out at.
Right.
But there they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that really doesn't apply to me. That line of thinking doesn't apply to me. Like, why would they be hanging out at this place all the time or a lot of the time? You see you get where I'm getting at?
Yeah. Aside from work, where do you hang out a lot of the time?
Home. Like if I died in a hospital, I definitely wouldn't be there.
Right. But that asylum was their home. That house was their home.
But would you want to be there if you had a choice?
I would want to be home. Yeah.
Have you met anybody happy to be at an asylum?
No, but that was their home.
But they had to be there. They didn't have a choice. They were incarcerated there. Have you ever been incarcerated, Missy?
No. But I'm just saying, if you're a mentally handicapped person, even if you're being abused.
Okay, let's just say they're treating you great, but you can't leave.
But
all of a sudden, you're dead. Now you can leave. Wouldn't you?
Maybe it's what is believed to be purgatory. Maybe they don't have a choice to go where
what God in the universe would damn somebody at these places? Like, I legitimately want to know why this makes sense. Like, why we think the way we do. Like, yeah, you go into a location that you definitely wouldn't want to be there if you didn't want to be. Yet we're experiencing these things that appear that they're there, right? But why are they there? Why do they seem like they're just stuck there? Like, we ask these questions all the time. Are you stuck here? Why? If they're stuck there, how does that work? How do you just get stuck places? Like, do you just roll a die and lose the roll and get stuck at locations? Like, how does that work?
No.
Maybe they don't have a choice to go wherever they want. Why? Like, I would be all in for that if you told me why that is. Like, a good explanation of why.
Volkfire said, my theory is about the energy you put out. If you faced a highly traumatic event, you put a lot of energy there and maybe leave something residual.
There we go. Now we're talking.
And then Derek said, maybe it's what is believed to be purgatory. And Josh said, maybe they don't have a choice to go wherever they want.
See, now Volkfire is talking my language.
And then Soul Watcher Paranormal said, I hear you, Volkfire. I hope that's not the case, otherwise I'm screwed. And then Volkfire said, I don't believe it is our actual consciousness that is there. I believe it is residual energy, an impression, per se.
So that's what I've been trying to open people's minds up to. Now, this is the way I think and I believe. Some rare instances, like the movie Ghost, some people don't want to go and they're hanging around. They're not stuck at one place, but it's like the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze. It can move around, but it's just not going into the light, for lack of a better, explanation for that. So most of I believe that all the energy fields that we live in are constantly being embedded with our information that we're leaving about us, our thoughts, our feelings, our lives, everything. Okay, and our psychic abilities can tap into these like some virtual reality. Okay, and like I tell you, in you and Derek's home, you extract that information out and start breathing life into it. Okay, physical mediums, I believe, can do that very, very easily, and especially PK agents can do this very, very easily. And we're going to talk to Lloyd next week about this. Now, it's going to be a big, parapsychology fest.
Well, what if they could travel wherever they want to roam?
If that was true, you wouldn't find them at these godforsaken places, Missy. You would not find them there.
He asked the question.
Oh.
I didn't.
But what if they can travel wherever they want to roam? I believe that they can. And I believe the last places you will find them and communicate with them are God-forsaken places. Okay? Now, there could be reasons for them to be attached to places. Maybe, that's what place they worked. Like at the old South Pittsburgh Hospital, maybe it was a doctor or a nurse that worked there. Or maybe something along that line and they like to visit. Sure, I find that possible and feasible in my mind. But it would be like a chance that they'd be there if there is one physical entity that moves around. So I feel like what Volkfire is saying is you can pop out at everywhere and anywhere you've been at multiple places. And you just interact with the energy and the imprints that are left behind. People call it residual, but I think there's way more at play here. I think that this energy can appear to be alive, and psychic mediums would find it almost impossible to distinguish whether it's the soul of a deceased person or just energy. But
it is 9 p.m., sir.
It's 9 p.m. So let's finish this thought before we play the Deadlight promo. Is it ethical? Let's ask this question. When we come back from the break, is it ethical to be involved in the perpetual what am I trying to say? Like, we are going to these places sometimes more than once. We're going to it multiple times. We're traveling to these places that have these alleged hauntings. Is it ethical to go in there, do a research, and leave? Like, even if we see that there's things wrong and there's potential solutions to these problems, should we leave with, out being part of the solution to the problem? We're just like, oh, we got an EVP. We really don't care if this haunting can end, or we really don't care if these people need help. Now, people who claim to cross people over, when they go to these locations, are they actually crossing people over, or are they doing those things? The next group in say no. You know what I'm saying? So, right. With that thought, let me know in chat. I'll see you in, like, I don't know, what's this, 2 minutes long? 3 minutes long? Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that.
We have been peering into shadow for 5 long years, struggling to see what lurks in the night. Working in Paranormal, we have aimed the best night vision illuminator on the market, but became the last light that our customers would purchase for the rest of their lives.
What Deadlight has done for me as an investigator has really kind of changed the gamut of how we investigate, because before Deadlight, you used to get the little wonky lights you buy off of, offline and stuff like that, which sometimes didn't always work. They were really glitchy. You guys sent me some Deadlights. I used them for Paranormal Warehouse. We did some filming for Epic Haunts, and I'm blown away.
I think the quality of the merchandise that you get from Deadlight LLC, I think is top notch. The fact that it's handmade, by Josh, and the quality of it and the craftsmanship that he puts into it, the time and effort that he puts into it, speaks volumes when the merchandise is received. The fact that he honors all of his work, pretty much lifetime guarantee to fix it if something goes wrong, I think stands out too. The quality of the product and the customer service is top notch.
Whether you are a seasoned investigator or a beginner, Deadlight has a lighting solution tailored to your needs and your equipment. Deadlight is made for all who are not afraid to see what lurks in the night.
And we're back. Missy has changed.
Sure has.
All right. Let's see if we go back here. What about the ones that follow us, hope, and ask for help? That's a whole combo itself. Shannon says it's like volunteering in Africa for clout and an Instapics. That's crazy. I think it's part of the human condition to be a little nosy. We are fascinated by our own mortality and want to contact another side. The unknown is way more interesting than human nature. I've wanted a Deadlight, need a camera that picks it up though first. He says great video. Hi Alan, what's up buddy? So yeah, if you're in the market for night vision, UV light, full spectrum light, Deadlight LLC on Facebook, check it out. Message the page, get on the waiting list for the best IR light you can get. Anyway, I'll ask you, sir. Have you ever felt like you were taking advantage of the situation? When you're trying to get those EVPs, when you're trying to get the apparition on video, you're asking ghosts in the dark to do things?
Sometimes. I mean, I'm there's sometimes that I'm sure that even whatever's there, if whatever's there has any type of consciousness, it would think you're taking advantage. There's many times that you walk in and you're asking super personal questions quite often, and everybody does, because it's really hard to go into a location and ask questions that hopefully will get you a response, but not ask the mundane, same old questions that are asked all the time. That's what, that's normally what happens. It's everybody goes into locations and they train through there, group after group after group after group, and they ask the same things. How old are you? Are you a man or a woman, a boy or a girl? Do you know what year it is? Do you know you're dead? How did you die? And
Right.
yeah, it's kind of, you're exploiting almost what the whole uh you know life of whatever is there used to be.
Right.
Because like me, one of the best things that I like to ask when doing EVPs, if we do a EVP session, is, look, we're here to help you and to tell your story. So if there's anything that you want to say that people don't know to tell your story, talk into our device. And 99% of the time we really don't get anything, but I try not to go in there asking the same old questions. I try to go in there and get a personal connection, or well, I guess it's still a personal connection, but a person to person connection with whatever's there. Because we don't know what it is. It could be energy, it could be nothing. It could be just talking to the wall, and maybe the wall's going to talk back to you.
If those walls could talk, right?
Oh, 100%. Those walls will tell people shit that they don't want to.
Wolfire says, well, in my opinion, if they don't want to be seen, they need to hide better. And Soul Watch Paranormal said, that's true. Also, I've gone in and felt I just shouldn't and didn't want to do it. Felt they didn't want any part of it, so I would leave. They don't have to answer. I have great empathy for them. So that's good. I mean, as long I feel like, one half of me wants to point a finger vigorously at someone and say, is what you're doing right? Ask yourself, And another part of me is saying, as long as you're aware of the ethical implications of what you're doing and you're trying to do it the best way you can, that's all you can really do. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially if you're doing it from a research perspective, like you're trying to figure out stuff and you have to teeter on some, some load centers or, some balance beams. I don't know. You're teetering on it.
Yeah, you gotta kind of go in there with, some, with a level head, some good morals and standards, and not go in there like they do on TV all the time. And some other people that I've seen seen videos of out in the field, and sit in a location getting belligerent and angry and screaming and yelling at what they think is an entity in the location.
Go slap.
Yeah, and you can't do that, because to me that's really crossing the line. If you can't sit down and do research or any type of study without being a civil human being, then you got no business trying to do it. Because going in and screaming and yelling at stuff and getting mad and banging on tables because stuff ain't happening, and trying to, I'm going to provoke it and make it happen. No, it's probably still not going to happen. You're just looking like a fool.
Yeah, he says, not once has a spirit showed itself to me, and I've been at OSPH, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and sister location, which I don't know which that is, 1,000 times. And Volfire says, like a certain famous person everyone knows, I would never demand them to do something for me like they are below me. Next question. We're moving on. What really started this idea of the topic that we were going to talk about tonight is, let's say you own a haunted location. It's huge. It's historic. Maybe it needs... Don't go yet. Derek, don't go yet. No, he left. He'll tell us in the chat. So chat, I'm going to ask this before Missy can hear me now. So Missy and the chat, I'm going to ask you a question. You own a historic location. It's huge. It costs lots of money. It's haunted. What do? It's got history that goes, look at Madison Seminary. It's got some nice stuff all the way to some, oh my God, that's tragic stuff.
Right.
What do? It's yours. You own it. The roof is leaking. The basement's falling in. The city's after you. What do?
I let people come in and do research and pay for my building. Hi, Matt.
Yes,
Research
sir.
it all. You and select people for a while.
And then what? You're opening the doors to anybody, Missy.
Oh, I don't know what I would do.
What would be now? Here's a more direct question. What would be the ethical thing to do? It's not an easy question to answer.
No. Research it all. Okay.
Volfire, you can tell them that, but the problem is, and we're going to talk about this, you can't follow everybody you let in there at all hours every single time to babysit what they're doing or to observe. So, Missy, let me know.
Not me, not right off the bat. Matt said.
Right. Old Historic Harriman Hospital. Have I noticed you post this before? It's in Atlanta, Georgia. No. Well, it says Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago. It's in Tennessee. But the service area is wide, I guess. That's cool. Keep reading chat for me if there's anything new. But yeah, you haven't answered my question. What would be the ethical thing to do? Okay, let's just say you open it up. A lot of times you will see, like, type one in the chat if you've seen on social media that a haunted location that allows investigations have said this. We opened it up, and after a while, the haunting got darker. How many times have you heard that, Missy?
A few.
A few. I've heard it almost every single location that said that. Almost every one. Now, we can say or speculate why, and maybe say if it wasn't true why they would say that. But there's a lot of locations that we know that say that the haunting gets darker, especially after you open it up, it gets popular and more people come in. Why do you think so, Missy? In chat, answer the same question. Please, I want to know what you think.
If you come in there with ill intent, you're gonna leave your PK there. Agreement wouldn't help if there was no one to witness the problems.
Right. Guided tours. We'll take a look at it. I wanted to see if there's some actual photos of it. No, this is the page. We'll see if there's any photos of it online on Google. But yeah, what I'm saying is, I think even if you have the best intentions, if you start having people go in with flashlight tours is a popular thing. People that, don't have the money or the means to investigate, they just go in at night and check it out, or during the day, self-guided tour, check it out. Sometimes they have guides, sometimes they don't. But if the haunting feels like it's getting darker, these are the impacts that we're feeling. It's like if you have a snake in a box and it's just sitting there hissing a little bit every once in a while, but if you keep poking it with stick over and over and over, it's going to start getting meanier and nastier, right? Even if you start opening and closing the lid over and over, you're not poking it, but you're opening and closing it, opening and closing. You're still putting stress on it, right? without even meaning to. Those are the things, I want people to be aware of. And, your process is, I want revenue so I can restore the building. Okay. So what is the most ethical way you can? You want to do paranormal research, but is what you're doing actual paranormal research? No. Allowing anybody with $100, $200, $300 or whatever to go into your location and do whatever the hell they want to do, essentially, is not paranormal research. None of it's being peer reviewed. You're not looking at any of it. And if you are, you're not doing anything with the data collectively as a community. I have not seen anyone do that at all. Even if they claim or they swear to God they are, they're not. Okay, I'm sorry. That's my opinion. So you're not helping paranormal research, even though you're stamping, I want to paranormal research it with all these groups out there that anybody can just say they are investigating. You see what I'm saying there, right? Let me know what you think of that opinion. And restoring the location. You're putting antiques in it. You're fixing the roof. You're painting. You're fixing things. Great. Okay. So you're helping the building, which I think is a bonus. But to the entities, the energies, the spirits in the building, what are you actually doing to them? Because, in my research, when you start renovating places, those places don't like that, seemingly. Why is that? I think that is kind of mysterious. Because you would think if they want the place to be, renovated and, fixed, why are they banging on the walls harder and making things fly across the room and, doing things to people they don't like? You know what I mean? So what's up with that? So, there's some theories that say, oh, the house or the home or the building itself is alive and conscious and it's acting out. I find that interesting, why that is. You would think that the haunting would not be as severe if it's more fixed up, but you hear the opposite, which I feel is counterintuitive in that regard. Let me know what you think about that. Go ahead and read some comments here.
Soul Watcher Paranormal said, this is a conundrum for sure. He said, I've been at OSPH for 8 years and I've only had 3, maybe 4 experiences. There are some come 2 minutes there and seen everything. On another note, I've seen places that seem to stop being haunted as well. Did someone or a group help them move on? Maybe.
It's possible.
Derek said, I think the best thing to do is find a way to raise money to repair the building and make it a historic museum. But most places need too many expensive repairs to be open to the public.
So I think Hill Force could fit that description of what Derek said. Like, they don't just open it up to anybody.
Right.
And they find other reasons to fix it up, to preserve it, to teach the history. It's basically a museum.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep.
And I like that. They only let certain people that they vet in there to do whatever. And they stay there while you do it.
Right.
Every time.
Yep.
I like that.
At the Anchorage, there was someone there the entire night.
That's another place that I feel like they're doing it the right way. Exactly. I mean, because it's a historical location first, and they're protecting and preserving the history and the actual physical building, because they know they can just let somebody in, and they could potentially screw it up.
Right.
And boom, they could be the historical society there, or the board could have strict rules for that, and that's how they get their funding, and that's how they do all their preservation. But these locations that you're getting hundreds and thousands of dollars a month, is that, like, can you track, is the transparency of that money going to where it says it's going? Can you look at that? No, not usually.
Right.
I'm not saying that they aren't, but you really don't know. You just have to trust them.
Right.
The same way you would trust a historical society or a board as well.
Right.
There's really no difference. But if it's actually a nonprofit, there's a little bit more safeguard in there, but not guaranteed. Especially, you can't promise, that they would spend and invest efficiently as you would like to.
He said one of the bad things about making it a historic location and you get it registered as a historic location, then you have to follow guidelines.
Right. Yep. Now, look at the old Licking County Jail. Like, it took years for someone to actually get delegated and get handed over to someone who runs haunts and has a business, a third-party business. Now, it used to be just, like, strict, and there's always someone there, either hired by the board, like Darren Smith, for example, and others that have helped over the years. Now, that's starting to lean more away from board control. It's being controlled less, and I guess it might be an experiment, or they just see potential and revenue there. But I feel like there are models out there that could help a lot of locations out, not only ethically but financially as well. And I feel like if you prioritize certain things, that it's just best overall for a location. But the heart of the subject matter is ethics. Now, everybody's going to have their own opinion about it. My opinion doesn't trump anybody else's, obviously, and everybody's going to have different ones. Some agree, some don't. I just feel like we need to constantly bring up this topic, so we're talking about it, we're thinking about it when we're going out and doing the things we're doing. We're thinking about it, at the very least, bring awareness to it. Heath, a large part of that is because you're probing way more discerning than one-off peeps that come wanting to see a ghost. I'm sure there are a few that have the sight. And he said, if you visit those locations a lot, you never see the improvement made based off funds accumulated. So where does the money go? Okay, I hate to do this. If you look at Waverly Hills, what's up, Deb? If you look at Waverly Hills and how much money that brings in, yeah, they're doing things, but is it really equivalent to how much money they're bringing in? Of course, there's unseen financials like tax and land property tax and so on and so forth. But that's under a historical place too. So, and there was some controversy about that here in the recent past. So, there's ethics there too. It's not just about the ghosts. It's actually about us living people and the properties too. So, if you ask me what I would do if I owned a haunted location, a historical location, I feel like it would be a perfect opportunity to do a research project that I've dreamed about for years. Okay. The first thing I would do is set up some type of business model to where this location can generate revenue to help the building, obviously. If it's going through the historical landmark way or doing it privately. Okay, I would have to figure that out. But once I figured it out, I would do it in the most ethical way I could. Now, the paranormal research aspect of it, it wouldn't be open to the public. You would have to be vetted extremely well. You have to be handpicked and prove that, your ethics and that your motives and that your skills and methodologies meet the requirements I feel is necessary to do the proper paranormal research. And then I would standardize every method used: EVP acquisition, videography acquisition of apparitions or any anomalous, phenomena, and go from there. I wouldn't be sitting there staring at you the whole time, but there would be things in place to make sure that you were doing everything correctly. It would be more like science and less like ghost hunting. That's what I would do. And I wouldn't do it every day, every weekend either. I would be much more further apart. I would let the place breathe. I would let people come in and tour the place a lot. But as far as, prodding it and probing it, not so much. Not so much. Oh, we're getting lots of comments here. Help me out, Missy.
Volkfire said make it a historical location, kind of makes it not your property anymore. I wouldn't do that. Heath Edwards said at OSPH, the management before the new owner never put money back into the location. Since the new owner, we've cleaned out 96 tons of trash, debris out of the hospital and 1 car.
Damn. Yeah, I remember that. Volkfire, I see what you're saying there. You can make it a historical location privately. That would be, you would advertise it as a historical location, a historic landmark, but not through your normal, means as a historic landmark. I see what you're saying there, because it definitely wouldn't make it all the way yours anymore. You're right about that. But if that was the only way you could really save it, I don't see how people who have done that are necessarily wrong. But if you could do it privately, I definitely would. Definitely would. I'm not an expert on it though. So, I would have these intentions. I would have these ideas. Would it work out? I don't know. I've seen it work out for some and not work out for others. Waverly makes $192,000 a year and $1,000 a night for 4 nights a week. You would think it would be more, but he must have just done the math. I feel like it's more, Derek. It's got to be more, right?
Would they charge $1,000 per team at 4 nights a week?
I thought it went up.
Could have.
It was Soul. Oh, he must be talking to somebody. I don't know the context of it. That's not including weekends. Yeah, I'm thinking that it's. I'm thinking that it's way more than 192 grand a year. That place has got to be making crazy money, dude. Crazy money, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to see if I can bring up. Oops, I probably shouldn't do that. Let's see if I can bring up. Let's see here. See if I can fix these. We'll do it 3. Boom. All right. I want to find some. I definitely want to try to find the where the shadow detector went off when it was off. Hill Forest. Cue it. No, there's a mic that's feeding into it that has a lot of interference. So let's why did I lose my? I don't want that to be there. I want that to be there. Okay. Let's see if I can find. Let's look here. I don't want. Let me turn this all the way down. I'm trying to scrub through this and I'm trying to find where Missy went down to check it.
Deb said, I don't like when they say it's so active and you go investigate and there's nothing. Just stories to get people in the door and all in the name of money.
Mm-hmm.
Darren said, we are a historic landmark through the state, but we don't deal with the local history departments. That's when things turn over to them. It all depends on the area and how the county historical society operates. That's why we created the LCGPS to keep the location away from the historical society.
Ah. Now, Missy, you're looking at the now. When I started doing this, calling up hello, at this point, did we hear the shadow detector go off by itself before this? It was before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's why you were down the stairs.
Yeah. No. Well, we took a break, and then I decided to have this configuration. Okay, so it's got to be in the first one then. It's always fun to go through this and find these moments that you're looking for.
But you sent me downstairs to
Yeah,
check
that's where I'm looking for, because we would look right before that. Yeah, it's got to be in the second one, because this is Derek coming down. Oh, boy. I thought I looked at the second one. Sorry for the dead air. I think this is after you checked it, right? Because you had went down there.
Yeah.
There you are.
There I am.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's at the end of this first one then. Must have happened after Derek went up.
People either. They're trying to keep fat people out of there. It is the coolest place in the house is up there.
No, the coolest.
No, like physically cool because
Physically cool.
there's an air vent up there that's blowing super hard up there.
Oh, yeah. Is this what you lost your black tip?
Thanks, buddy.
Josh found it. I just.
Was it just on the floor?
Mm-hmm. It was actually standing straight up on the floor. It looks like it popped off and landed there.
That's like for like a thing for.
So what's cool about this camera we're watching, there is wireless audio feeds going into it. Of course, it has a mic on it, but at the very top of the stairs, and there's a 360 mic that's going into this camera. That's how you're hearing our voices so well. And then there's another recorder to the left room that's in there, but I don't think there's anybody. I just think that's cool.
Yeah, I'll turn the lights off.
You can go up there, Josh.
What's up, Derek?
I wanted to see your.
I'll go get cool though.
It is, dude. The one over here on the other side, across the room from the steps.
That's like leg day all over again. If you did
Yeah,
leg
dude.
day.
When we got that spike in your mail, it was super duper goose pimples on my legs, and I felt weird. Yeah.
See, I'm putting in double A battery. Josh is in there.
I put the EDI in there too. Those are motion activated there.
It's got to be happening right now.
Hopefully that. See, like here, I've got wherever you are.
Should be in there.
Where the fuck is it?
Yeah. No.
That was it. That beep 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 beep. Where the hell was that coming from? So let's see if it happens on the second one.
Yeah, but I turned it off.
Because see, now we're talking about it.
Apparently you didn't.
I turned it off completely off.
Does it only do it once or twice, Missy?
Yeah, it is off. Yeah. I did.
I think it does it twice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was having a conversation with them. I didn't understand. Yeah, the view up there is killer, dude.
What was that went off?
I'm good.
All right.
And Craig reminds me of crickets. Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to have to do now is look at this input. This is the top of the stairs.
Those are motion activated.
Okay,
Yeah.
that seemed distant. Okay, just so you guys know, for reference, I'm sorry I didn't set this up. This is at Hill Forest Mansion. This is one thing I wanted to review. That we're now just looking at it live. I had shut my shadow detector off next to this camera that we're watching. And we thought that's what we heard that went off. That's the only device that made noise that we had downstairs. So we're trying to figure out if that's what it was. So the 360 mic on top of the stairs is what we just listened to. It seemed distant there. So we're going to listen to this one. Here's another recorder. I think this is the microphone on the camera. I don't think they can hear it. I think the desktop audio is gated.
I can hear it when I turn up the
Yeah,
screen.
let me turn off the noise gate for now. Boy, that's really close. That's a camera. That's a camera going off, right? Now, Derek, if you're listening to this, is that one of your cameras auto powering off? Because Derek did go down there and put something down there. We'll have to take a look at that.
He put a tripod down there.
He did. So we'll go back to it. What did he put down there? Let's scrub through it again.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you, dude? You come down there. There he is. So that's the camera that went off. That's what it was. He must not have shut it off. Let's ask him if he remembers, because this is the camera that he had on the bed. Okay, it was still red. I saw a red light on it like it was still recording. I'm gonna...
You don't microphone on YouTube? You put a microphone on.
He said that's the G85.
On the little tripod?
Yeah.
That's not a G85. It's the Zoom Q2N. See this tripod here, Derek.
Could that have been when the Q2N lost power? Is what he said.
Yeah.
He said that's the G85. So I don't know.
The G85 is right there on this tripod. The one in his hand is the one I think was going off. See the red lights on it, like it's still on. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's loud as hell. Okay, I want to try to pause it. I saw a red light on it, so when he gets down the bottom stairs, we can see if it's still on. I can't tell there. So he sets it down. Boy, hanging that cable from it gives me OCD. I bet you that's the camera that turns off. So
I don't see it.
we'll just test it. I don't know if I'll get away with doing this live. Hold on, guys. I know this live stream probably sucks now, but I need to know.
He said, yeah, the one in my hand is the Q2N from Caroline's room. The card was full.
But did you power it off?
Hi, Antonio.
So we are going to... Oh, this is the wrong power. Let's see here. Bear with me. Read comments or something.
There aren't any comments except for Derek talking about the Q2N.
They'll probably stop watching because the show isn't interesting anymore.
Antonio said, "Nice wife beater, Justin."
You like that? Thought you did. Yeah, I was fixing to do harm to my wife, and I figured I'd dress the part.
No, it was on external power, he said.
But it was off. Did you turn the camera off? Because if it ran out of SD card space, but you didn't power the I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I don't have any idea. You're talking about equipment. I have to pee again.
Okay, I'm here.
What's up, bro?
Well, the one that I sat down, that's the Q2N that was in Caroline's room. The memory card filled up. It was hooked up to external power, so it wouldn't have went off. I think I know which one it is.
If you stop the recorder but leave it powered on, it will auto power off and make a noise.
Well, it had been running upstairs with the memory card full.
Okay, so I'm going to test my theory here.
But remember, we had the one that was upstairs in the other room that had the batteries in it that I was testing for Josh. And remember, it went off. And I bet that's the one that made the noise.
But didn't it come from downstairs?
I don't know.
Weren't we... I'm going to see if this turns off by itself.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it here. If it makes a noise and goes beep, 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 we know that's it. Because I just wanted to debunk that or figure out what did that. Because I thought it was the shadow detector, but now listening to it, it sounds like a camera auto powering off.
Right.
Yeah. Look at your sexy ass just standing there.
I know. I'm just
now,
checking
dude.
shit out.
That 360 recorder up there made it sound like we were right next to the camera, dude.
Shit, yeah, it did. It sounded super good.
Now I had to turn off the gate to the audio, the desktop audio.
That's what I thought.
Now this has got some interference in it in the beginning, but then it stops, like it stops doing it. See, someone walks right by this area and it's just so clear.
Oh yeah. The lights, the reflection.
What I need to get in the habit of doing is live listening to the wireless mics coming in, make sure there's no interference like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, see, I used to live listen to my my Sony, and then I kind of got it. Well, when I was using the old Q8, I used to live listen. The Sony's a little harder to do that.
We will look at some of this stuff, just so it's more interesting for people watching.
That's the Q. Is that the Q2N or the?
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. Then there's my out of focus one on the table, and see, is it on right there?
I can't tell.
It
The
looks like the screen went
display
in.
was off.
Yep. So it's probably off.
See, they have in Hill Forest. They have this bedroom that's converted into like a little museum of all the history of the Gaff family, plus lots more. See, there's their family tree.
Would you just look at it?
That picture right up there up top is so cool.
Oh yeah, that one there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The way the grounds are set up.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yo.
It's the old stomping grounds, huh? I'm so shoved full of food.
I just talked about
So
how
hard
full I
to,
was.
Focus on anything energetic.
What's up, Sky Ray?
It's not ideal.
I was downstairs watching, and I was like, "Shit, I better go."
If it was me,
Damn.
I would starve
I was like,
myself.
I better go up
take
and
off my clothes.
see if I can explain some of this.
How do you know?
This hasn't powered off yet. This camera I have on without recording. I'm just seeing if it'll auto power off.
I don't know.
It hasn't done anything yet.
Man, I wish we could. I wonder if it was that camera dying.
You have a
in the other
little
room.
thing with dolls, huh?
This is the kids' room. Here. See?
What?
Now it's dark.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to break anything, so I'll get my flashlight out. Damn it! I don't even have my flashlight. I don't know where it went.
Justin Brown comments.
I know, Antonio. I was just talking about that the other day.
Christy, you get a copy.
I haven't got a whole lot done the last couple weeks.
I can't wait to get all the stuff and start going through it and everything.
Oh, I know.
Christy.
I'm trying to get Christy on the radio.
Oh. Did you notice if I took my flashlight out of my pocket? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
getting
Antonio
tingles around
said
my legs.
no comments above related to Antonio's cameras.
Do me a favor, hold this.
God, the handling noise. Oh my no. I can't. That's one thing I don't like about that is there's no shock mount for the microphones.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That's all you hear is handling noise. It's
Oh, exactly.
not good.
Yeah, because this is when we were getting ready to set up.
Well, we have set up. We just had pizza.
Yeah, we was getting ready to set up and try to do some more experimentation.
We'll spend the last 8 minutes of the live stream looking at this crap that I haven't really looked at.
Thank you.
Do you feel anything in here?
Anthony, I thought I saw your comments.
Give me a minute.
Like when you walked in, did you feel anything automatically?
It seemed like I felt it like
There's Christy. She's in the door,
the first one.
wanting to know what
Okay.
you guys are doing in there.
I'm glad she got to come.
I know. It's been a long time since she's been able to get out and go do something.
Put the REM pod down in the baby crib.
I feel like you just turned away that I dressed you. I just want you to know that we're sorry we're in here.
Probably not, Tony.
You, but
That's when you was.
there are some really nice people that are trying to
That's when you was staring at the mannequin,
Restore
trying to figure out what was under the
this
dress.
home and teach people about this home and the people who owned it and who lived here. And I have reason to believe that someone in here had suffered a lot of grief and sorrow from losing a child. And I'm sorry. Tingles up my left leg. A little bit of dizziness.
Tony, I would have her everywhere, but she just her health
We
isn't
have
great.
These devices, these little black boxes, to let us know if there's anyone here that can read your energy. If you want to do that, let us know that you're here. You can try to touch one of them, see if it goes off. That will let us know that you can interact with us. If you can try to talk or do anything, we are here to listen.
Did you just whisper?
I did not.
I heard a whisper in my left ear.
What did it say?
I don't know. I couldn't make out what it said, but it.
I am picking up on a child, but it's a boy. It's a little boy, about Braden height.
So about 10 or 11.
Yeah. Picking up on a woman too.
She snaps her fingers a lot.
Guess that's better than yelling.
Yeah, she snaps her fingers and she points her finger.
So who heard the whisper?
Missy did.
Okay.
There's crazy energy around my legs.
Yeah, I kept on feeling, those really tingly sensations go up my legs. I've been feeling that a lot in the last few investigations I've been on.
Yeah. I get a lot of that too.
Are you with us?
And it's always my legs.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird as hell.
Well, my arms and hands too, but it seems like it's my legs more and more.
Mm-hmm. I
Like
think
there's
it's
something coming up through the ground or something.
yeah. That's what I was going to say. I'm wondering if it has something to do with energy that's coming up through the ground.
Boy, there's some energy in here, but it's not doing anything to the equipment.
At least not yet. I say there's energy in here. It's not doing anything to equipment.
Keep trying.
Right.
We would later be proven wrong.
Boy, my ears are ringing hard.
A lot of I
And the
keep
one
hearing,
thing
"Please
that I've
God,
noticed
please
about there,
God."
just from being in there a couple times, is there's not a lot of electrical circuitry that runs through the building, or it's ran in a way that you don't get a lot of electrical interference when it comes to equipment and meters and stuff. Because you can walk around with a meter and very few things will pop a reading on a meter for electrical activity.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, why is it only showing YouTube on there? That's weird. Anyway, it's 10 o'clock and I need to get up at 4 in the morning. So, thanks for everyone. See, this does not auto power off. It just stays on when it stops recording. So Anthony said it makes a noise when your SD card gets full, but I don't know. It just sounded like a camera to me. We'll have to figure out which one it was.
I'll have to test. I'll have to test it. I'll put a memory card in one and let it fill up, and then I'll take another one and put some batteries in it and see if I can get the batteries to die.
Okay. Fair enough. Let me turn the noise gate back on this. Boom. Okay. All right. Thanks, Derek, for taking a look at that for me.
No problem.
Just don't forget your SD cards when you come this weekend so we can get that downloaded. And I'll bother Josh about giving me drone footage and the stuff he has. And we'll start taking looks at this stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to wrap up the show. Just hang out for a few.
Cool.
Hey everyone, thank you for if you've here the whole time. You're the all-star. You're the one that makes this show possible. Thank you for joining us, and for everybody else who has tuned in at some point during this live stream, thank you very much. Next week we will have Lloyd Auerbach. He is a parapsychologist. He's been investigating and doing parapsychology for 44 years. We're going to have him on the show next Wednesday, and we're going to talk parapsychology. I am looking forward to it. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. We'll get to know who he is and what he's about. But check us out on social media if you haven't already. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, Instagram. Check it out. Some of those links are in the video description. You can follow us, see the photos, see the posts. Patreons, okay? If you want to support us on Patreon, I'll link it here. And you can check it out if you want to be part of the Patreon supporters. You can be shouted out every show and in the credits of our paranormal documentaries. But thank you very much for your support. And that's where I'm going to leave it. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, looking forward to it. You guys have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Stay spooky. We'll see you next time.